what we were hearing from clients was demand for HBAR. That's why we have a product in the market.
Today, we're lucky enough to have Duncan Moyer. He is the president of 21 Shares and one of the board members for the Hedera Governing Council. Today, he's wearing the first hat a little bit more, but we appreciate everything that he does in the Hedera space. Duncan, welcome.
Thank you, Brandon, for having me.
It's absolutely my pleasure. So, Duncan, to kick this off, can you just tell us about the new 21 Shares or the HBAR backed 21 Shares ETP that you just announced this past week?
Yeah, absolutely. So the ETP is all about making crypto investing easy, right? We want to make investing in crypto as easy as buying a share. We want to make crypto available to as big a market as possible. And now investors across much of Europe can get access to HBAR through their regular bank or broker.
Understood. All right. So where are these actually going to be available? What jurisdictions?
So it's a mix. I mean, we're obviously a global company. When we list ETPs, they tend to be in Europe. So we go across a range of different major securities exchanges. And it really depends on what country you're in and the regulation. But for the most part, investors across a lot of Europe, so Germany, Switzerland, France, even places like Spain, and in some instances, Italy, and the Nordics can get access to these products. And if you're a professional investor, for the most part, you have wide access to crypto ETPs.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I see these initial products as very important for future basketed crypto products. What do you see in the future for index-like products? And does 21 Shares have any plans on that front?
Oh, 100% agree. I mean, the individual single token products are great, and they're a good way to onboard investors to crypto. Of course, things like Bitcoin have been super popular, and the ETFs in the US have done really well. But basket products is probably where it's heading. I mean, I will say that kind of unusually, the first product that we ever launched in 2018 was a basket product. And it's still around today. And we have a range of other ones. Now, the market is evolving. I think basket products are going to be a really good asset for the more professional investors, for wealth managers, family offices, and big asset managers to get more diversified exposure. And I think that where it could go in the future is it's kind of like you have with stock ETFs today. So you have your FTSE 100 or your S&P 500 products that they have stocks across the market, all different sectors, and then you get very sector specific ones. We're not quite as mature. We don't have quite as mature a market in crypto today, but I definitely think that's where it's heading. And we, interestingly, for your viewers, already have a basket product that includes HBAR in it and has done for a while now.
And is that kind of a top 50 or a top 100 product?
So that one specifically is about 10 assets, and it has a quite a specific methodology. And then across the other basket products, that it can be, we have top 5, we have top 10, we have one that has up to 30 assets in it. So that's more around like the future projects, much more niche assets being included in a product where we have liquidity.
Well, I think a lot of investors out there, they want exposure to the space. They don't know which ones are going to be the winners. So they do want these kind of products. Okay. And the nice thing about basketed products is they automatically rebalance, right? So the ones that aren't doing so well, they're going to drop out of those indexes. And the ones that are doing better are going to get added in. So that's certainly going to be something that we're going to see going into the future. Right. How do you see, these ETPs impacting the crypto landscape as a whole in the years to come?
Yeah, I think that they are going to be an important feature within crypto overall. I mean, the ETPs, it's a little bit of a means to an end, right? It's a structure that we use to make sure we can give broad access to crypto, and that's because not everybody's in a position to onboard onto a centralized exchange, a platform, an app, or have their own wallet or operate on a DEX today. Hopefully they will in the future, and we need to make it as easy as possible for people to get into the market. How we think about ETPs today, beyond that, it's actually providing capital back into the system, right? If we are successful with our products, that means we have more assets coming into the relevant ecosystem. All of our ETPs are one for one backed with the spot crypto. So they're fully collateralized. That means every flow that we get in, we then go and buy spot in the market to offset that. That means more money coming into the system. That means potentially, depending on the token, the project, and the inflation mechanism, pressure on price, which then means that the treasuries at the blockchain or at the maybe some smaller projects that have received grants will grow as the price increases, and then that just gets recycled into the system.
So, Duncan, how do you market these products? I know one of the things that we saw with Bitcoin, tremendously successful. Ethereum, even though it was successful products here in the United States, they weren't nearly as successful as Bitcoin. As we go down that tail to some of these other assets, we need to figure out how to get people involved because there's going to be tremendous value built on these other layer ones and these other protocols. How do you go about, marketing this at 21 shares to potential customers?
Well, it's not easy. I mean, honestly, marketing is one of the more challenging aspects of the job because you have to appeal to a wide range of investors. We've got everyone from retail investors right up to the most sophisticated prop shops and hedge funds as clients, and we need to market to all of them. And then it depends on the actual country or region that you're in. We have a heavy emphasis on digital, on social media for the retail clients, and then for the institutional clients, it is much more your classic like on the ground sales team going out to clients. Both sets of investors want different things, right? The sophisticated institutions they care about tight spreads and liquidity. And so we have a capital markets team that's job is to ensure that we have that liquidity. And the retail investor, they want easy access. They want an investment thesis. They want a story. So we spend a lot of time building that investment thesis, building the messaging that we can take out to the investor.
I think this is one of the places where HBAR kind of excels, where the early adopters, they may not have paid as much attention to Hedera, but the people that are going to get access through these ETPs, they're going to look at Hedera and look at the enterprise use cases, look at the governing council, and I think that's going to really resonate with them. And of course, in many cases, that's going to be people with a lot more money, the older millennials, the Generation X, and boomers out there. That I really do think that Hedera is going to have a little step ahead.
You're on the money there. I mean, I joined the company at the beginning of the year, right, in January, and I know that there was an expectation that we were instantly going to have a product in the market. And I've said before that were we to have a product is going to make sense for us and for Hedera as well. What we were hearing from clients was demand for HBAR. That's why we have a product in the market. So we know that this is from institutional investors that there has been demand for the asset, and those institutional investors do like the themes around tokenization, around payments, digital identity, anything like that. In particular, tokenization. Let's face it, because it's probably closer to the institutional asset managers' kind of hearts. I think Hedera is actually really well placed in that regard.
Good to hear. That's exactly what we want to hear. So now, me being in the US, I am going to talk about my backyard here a little bit. We know that Canary Capital and I believe Grayscale, they've both put in the paperwork for an HBAR backed ETF. Do you have any plans to move into the US market?
We can't really talk about products that we may be doing before they've been filed. But what I will say is that we've built our business and built our brand around being product innovators, and we really led the European market in broadening the offerings beyond Bitcoin and ETH. The US market is definitely behind in that aspect, but I think it's going to catch up, and we want to be a leader there. So where we have products live in Europe, where we see demand for particular assets, I think that we will try to replicate that in the United States, and you've already seen a number of filings from us for some of for tokens where we already have products in Europe.
All right, good to hear. So, the last thing that I want to ask about is I know Greg Bell, when he was talking about some of those US ETFs, he was saying that you have to talk to your brokerage firm, you have to tell them that you want access to this product. Is there anything you would want to pass on to the HBARbarians out there that you'd like them to do to get more engaged with what's going on in these ETP products?
Well, I mean, one thing that we tend to say to the communities within each of the projects and where we have products is we do need stories. We do need examples of great use cases to strengthen the education that we do with investors, to strengthen the marketing collateral that we produce. So we welcome people to reach out to us and also provide feedback on the things that we are producing, because we want to make sure we get it absolutely right. In terms of influencing brokers to offer the asset, if I'm honest, we tend to have the products tend to be very widely available within Europe already. If they're on the exchange or the broker's connected, they tend to be there. There's the odd broker that's still not ready to offer crypto products to investors, but it's actually they're few and far between. So definitely the support on the messaging and understanding what are the really exciting things going on in the Hedera community, I think would be very helpful.
Well, Duncan, just like everybody else, you are more than welcome to use any of the content that I create, all the Built on Hedera series, more than welcome. Is there anything else you'd like to pass on before we let you go?
No, look, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak. Again, it's been a pleasure, and I'm glad to get this one kind of out the gates. It's one I obviously have wanted to do for a while since joining, and I'm pleased to see it up and running.
Well, it's absolutely my pleasure to have you on. You're always welcome back. We appreciate everything that you do for Hedera, and thanks for hopping on today and telling us about the ETP.
Thanks, man.
I'm now posting these interviews of Hedera builders independently to my channel. The community, influencers, and media outlets are free to use this content to spread the word on what's being built on Hedera. Once they're all uploaded, you'll be able to go to my channel and search for whatever topic or team you're interested in to find more information. Or you'll be able to get the most recent Hedera news by watching the latest HBAR Weekly update. So check them out.